Welcome back to the channel, guys, and it's a new week, which simply means new opportunities in the market. Today, we're going to be talking about the DXY, that is the USD index. We'll look at the Euro USD. We'll look at also probably gold as well, just majorly those instruments, just to have a feel of what we're expecting this week. But before we look at the charts, let's take a quick look at the calendar. Why are we diving into the calendar? Why? Simply because this week is bound to be explosive, especially from tomorrow, Wednesday, where we have CPI, the Consumer Price Index for the USD. Trust me, this is going to be explosive. And then also later that day, we still have high impact news for the dollar. You can see how many high impact news we have for the dollar on Wednesday, June the 12th, a whole lot. And later we have the FOMC statement. So trust me, there is going to be fresh and heavy volatility on Wednesday. And I normally advise, if you do not have any directional bias whatsoever, it is best to sit on your hands or shut down your system and then take a walk. Because whipsaws, slippage, spread increments, and a whole lot of other things could easily occur from tomorrow. And it could easily also scatter the price pattern, so to say, right? We already know that last week was explosive for USD, where we had the DXY appreciate heavily. Let's just have a quick look at that. We had the DXY push in an aggressive manner, right? And of course, this was from the non-farm payroll from Friday, right? Remember last week we said from Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the market was moving sideways in a range. And then the next thing, the explosion, where we had a positive USD outcome from the unemployment rate. And you can see the movements in this manner. Now, apart from this movement, something also happened based on Friday's close. And then when the market opened, we had a gap over here. Gap. Gap is simply when in between the Friday close and the Sunday open, there is still some, movement, noticeable movement, but then the chart doesn't reflect it because the market is closed. So when it opens, it now shows where the market has gotten to and not where it closed on Friday. And that is the gap for you. Now, based on this gap, we also have what is known as, or who are known as the gap traders. Gap traders are those that are looking forward to closing the gap, right? So they look for opportunities to sell. And then earlier on Monday, as the price pushed higher, they pushed higher in this rising channel pattern, right? In this rising flag pattern. And as you can see, it broke out over here. Now, it might as well close this gap. So that means that we probably had some gap traders. If you are one of them, comment below and let's know that you are one of them and you are smiling to the bank more or less. So we know that the gap traders probably would have been fading their positions because that's what they like to do. But they believe, especially with a massive push to the upside in this manner, that price needs to retrace. I repeat, price needs to retrace. So based on that retracement, that's what we're seeing over here. And of course, some fadings here and there, just in case it keeps some pushes higher, is also a possibility for the gap traders. But then, will this gap close? That is the question. So for this DXY, the question is the gap going to close? And if you look at the Euro USD as well, the Euro USD also formed its own gap. Now, I'm going to show you this we're going to look at this Euro USD in two ways. First of all, we have the gap over here. And you can see we asked this question. Will it close the gap or trap the gap traders by falling, causing heavy drawdowns and possible fades? If you ask me, even though it has not closed the gap yet, just like the USD, we had this pattern here as well, and you can see it has pushed higher. But then as it has pushed higher, we have this block over here, which is the area of sellers. So there's still a possibility that this gap might not close. You might need to watch this video again to understand exactly what I'm talking about, especially if you are new or you are struggling. An intermediate trader, well, yes, you might probably understand some of the things like gap and then this block that we have over here. And you can see we have the price struggling in this manner as well. So it might as well drop from here and might not close the gap. And that's why I said earlier, even the gap traders have already gotten a position based on this falling channel flag pattern. I would want to advise them to tidy up and then probably move to stop loss, move to break even, or whatever the case might be. Very key, very, very important. Because it does not necessarily mean that this gap is going to close. But I'm watching this closely for a possible sell position here, or then for a possible, let me just do this, for a possible push higher, drop here, and then do what? Push higher, do more to properly close this gap. So I'm looking at those two possible positions here for a sell position or a breakout, a push higher of this block here, and then it should now act as a flip zone to push higher. That is exactly what I'm looking out for this EURUSD. And then let's quickly look at the gold before we round up. We're just going to just do these two for now because these are the two that I am closely watching. Of course, GBP USD is also on the cards, but last week GBP USD did not perform as well as EURUSD and of course gold, right? So on this gold over here, you can see we have our areas here of formal support that should now act as resistance, right? This area should now act as resistance. And here we have this as support. So this could also act as support. Now on this particular chart, I'm just showing you this. I'm showing you the areas, the levels where you would like to buy here, and also where you like to sell here, especially based on this time frame 1 hour. So you might have a different view of this gold, whether you're looking forward to buying in this area, maybe from a lower time frame. Because trust me, if you drop down in time frames, this area here could also be what? It could also be an area of demand. In fact, let me do this for you, just to show you how to look at the market from different angles. Let's look at maybe the 30 minutes time frame first of all. Let's see how that looks like. Well, this 30 minutes time frame, look at this. We have this area here, and this area here. You can see that this acted as what? Resistance, support, and this could be a launching pad over here to push higher. So depending on the time frame that you're looking at the market, it's going to give you different perspective. That is why I always tell traders, you could have two participants, a buyer and a seller, and the buyer clicks on buy and the seller clicks on sell at the same time. And both of them will still make money. Simply because one could be on a lower time frame, maybe 30 minutes or 15 minutes, while the other could be on a higher time frame, 4 hours, 1 hour, 1 day, and so on. So the drawdown of one would easily be the profit of the other. So that one makes profit, and then before you know it, the drawdown turns around and goes in favor of the other trader. So always trust your analysis. Very key, very, very important. Now I'm going to be rounding up this video over here, and I'm going to leave you with this. High impact news this week. Trust me, you do not want to be caught off guard. I always say one of the major things that every trader needs to do when it comes to the step-by-step procedure to become profitable in the business is to check the calendar. Whether you are a scalper, intraday, swing, or position trader, I do not care. Check the markets. Very key, very, very important. So with that said, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. If you are new, hit the subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up if it was able to help you understand the market a bit better. Because it's all about understanding how to read and understand the market like an open book in order to be profitable at the end of the day. Great. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.